David, what's up?
All good, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. Just hanging out in Norway, going skiing tomorrow with my daughter, and I've been looking forward for a long time to talking to you.
Yeah, man, it's a pleasure. We were supposed to do that way earlier, but I think we're both busy, and it's cool to see you finally.
Yeah, likewise. And I have a thing where I'm really good at like making appointments, and then I see like right before, oh shit, I don't have time. So then I'm like, oh, sorry, I have to cancel and postpone. So that's my New Year's resolution. I'm trying to get better at not canceling too much.
It's all good, man. At least now it's spontaneous.
Yeah. Okay, so David, how do you pronounce your last name? I'm not very good in French, but is it David Laffargue?
So David Laffargue, normally.
Yeah.
American TV show recently said David Laffargue, so you can't do worse than this anyway. Don't be shy.
Yeah, that's great. And the reason why I got to know you is through, of course, social media. And I started skydiving in 2013, and since that, I've been part of the skydiving and base community. Even though I'm not a base jumper, but I have a lot of friends who's base jumping, and also I work as a photographer. So it's pretty natural for me once I'm in the extreme sport community to want to take pictures of base jumpers. But one of the things I love about you is that you post a lot on social media, and I know if I want to see something cool or just see something fun, I always go to your page.
No, thank you.
That's where the party is, right?
Thank you. I mean, there's like pretty much base jumpers post a lot, of course, with attention. I try to just like keep it fun and lighthearted because there are already way more than enough athletes in the sport. So I just want to keep it fun and real,
Yeah, that's great. I was just talking to Felix the Flying Cat a couple of days ago.
Yay.
And he's such a fun dude, man. Have you had the pleasure of spending time with him?
Man, Felix is one of my best friends. We hang out together a lot. We've known each other since 7 years now. We met in a way that I cannot really tell. Not on a podcast, maybe with a few beers at the next Ekstremsportveko. And we hang out a lot together. I didn't have the chance to see him last year because, COVID, we were all a bit stuck at home, at least not really crossing borders. But I'll definitely see him next summer when I come to Norway.
Nice. And how did you get to know Felix?
I
know it's probably some party, right? I know you're laughing because
yeah. So I know Felix through Yoki Sommer, that is also a long-time friend, and Felix was hanging out with Yoki, doing some projects, jumping together, and we got to meet. I saw them hanging out together, and of course we talked at a party, and it was really cool. We got along straight away.
Yeah,
I really like Felix. He has a really good energy. He's a really cool dude to hang out with. There's always a good vibe around him. He's really down to earth. He likes to pretend that he's not good, but he's actually really skilled. So yeah, Felix is amazing.
Yeah. So I see. I never knew that before, but I just went into your Instagram account just before we started chatting here, and I saw that you grew up on a sailboat.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So when I was 5 years old, my dad decided to leave everything, buy a sailboat, and travel around the world. His plans was to travel only for 3 years because he had enough saving for 3 years. And of course, after 3 years, like anyone that get a little grasp of real freedom, he didn't want to go back. So we kept traveling, living maybe at a lower standard of life, but just surviving with having people coming on the boat and paying for the trip, a bit like the old version of Airbnb, and we kept traveling like this the 10 following years. In total, I've been living 15 years on a boat, 10 of them traveling and 5 of them staying in Tahiti with kind of a steady life. I was going to school, but yeah, from 5 to 20 years old on the boat.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what was it like? I mean, you didn't have like what we call a normal childhood, right? But still, you probably had a better childhood than many other people. I mean, when you got to see that much of the world.
Yeah, man, it was quite fun. Life on the boat, so people imagine it as being sailing all the time, which is not the case. You sail on the boat just to go from point A to point B. It's like taking your car, you know. Most of the time, you're anchored in front of a beach, and or a beach. I have to be really careful with that pronunciation. I mean, both words, I guess, but anyway, getting lost here. Yeah, so most of the time you're in front of a really sandy area, and you just do barbecues, go fishing, and yeah, this is life on the boat, you know. And I had the chance to not go to school until the age of 15, so I guess that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And what is your life looking like now?
Well, I think right now I'm living my best life. I base jump full time. I managed to make a living of my passion, so it's pretty cool. I live in a van. Well, not this winter because COVID made the situation a bit exceptional. I took an apartment for the winter, but the rest of the time, normally including winter, I live in a van and I just travel around. I do base courses, so I teach people, and I just live off my passion. So it's pretty cool.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It doesn't get better.
No, but do you think growing up on that sailboat made you into the base jumper, or like it's almost like gypsy that you are today?
Yeah, well, living, because things could go either way, you know. For example, I don't like sailboats anymore, so like it's just like I had too much of it and I can't do it. So the same way I could have also hated traveling and had enough of it. I think what the sailboat teaches you is not necessarily to live as a gypsy and travel around and stuff. What the life on the sailboat taught me is to not be afraid of change. Because I grew up moving from place every week, changing friends all the time, knowing that every relation with people is just temporary, enjoying the moment, and knowing that even if it always seems difficult to move or go to another place, it's actually not that bad, and when you get used to it, it's not scary anymore. So I learned to live in change, and at the moment I'm living that life as a gypsy, which seemed pretty similar to the boat life. But even if I had decided to dedicate my life to business, for example, I would still have that mindset of change, you know, of not trying to stay on one job, but, you know, like try to innovate, to move. And that's the influence of the sailboat life. It's not necessarily the travel life, but the change.
Yeah. That's interesting. And how many years have you lived in a van now?
Wait. I'm not really good at counting. I need to use my fingers. 4 years. Wait, 4 years. Yes, 4 years in the van. Yeah. Before that, I had. So I've been traveling on my own for the last 9 years since I started base jumping. For a few years, for 5 years, I was getting some season jobs. So even though I was moving, you know, there was something kind of regular, you know, being in Lauterbrunnen in Switzerland in the summer, Verbier in the winter, still in Switzerland. And it's been 4 years now that I have a van and that I just travel around.
Yeah. What's your favorite place in the whole world?
And I it's really hard because I mean, if there was a better place, the perfect place, I would be living there. I'm still looking for it, but and I'm sorry I'm not saying that because it's a Norwegian podcast, but I really, really, really like Norway.
Yeah, Voss is nice, huh?
Yeah, Voss is, but not only Voss, man. Like Voss is beautiful. I love going jumping in Gudvangen, but the Andalsnes area with all those jumps there and those big, terrifying
wall and everything.
walls. Yeah, no, Trollwall is forbidden. Sorry?
Is it forbidden?
Yeah, it is.
I think a lot of people jump there.
Oh, no, I've never heard of that.
You shouldn't say that loud.
No. Yeah, actually, officially, we're not supposed to jump Trollwall for safety reasons, but we can jump all the other jumps around. So it's a pretty cool region. There's a lot to do. It's beautiful. The fishing is amazing. I bought a fishing rod last time I went to Norway, and we were doing these barbecues with this amazing. I don't know how they're called, but they're yummy. Yeah, I really like Norway, man. Really, really like Norway. It's a special country. Nice hikes, big jumps, cool people. So
yeah, I think Norway is a very free country.
Yeah,
you can more or less do whatever you want, and it's also free and open in the way that it's pretty hard to get into Norwegian people because we're not the first to like, hey, come in. But once you first get to know us, we're pretty cool. And well, you can be whatever you want, and we'll accept you, right?
Yeah, I mean I know Norwegians through base jumping, so for me it was like pretty easy. I didn't feel not accepted or call people or anything. For me it was pretty cool. So I'm always happy to go back there every summer. I'm already planning to go this year, so it's pretty cool.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, I really hope so, man. I know since I'm working with Veko now, I know that the plan is to make a festival no matter what. And if there's not allowed to have concerts and stuff, we're still going to do the sports.
Yeah.
So hopefully there'll be a lot of skydiving, a lot of base jumping, and holiday in Gudvangen, and maybe some. Have you joined any in-hops?
No, I haven't. I would have to renew my skydive license and do a lot of paperwork.
What are you telling me? You don't have a skydiving license?
I don't skydive that much. I started skydiving again last year because I started wingsuiting. But before that, I hadn't skydived for 8 years.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So like 100% base jumper.
Yeah. I mean, it's way cheaper, man.
Yeah. Well, they have AFF courses at Voss next summer if you want. This summer if you want to come.
I'd be happy to take one. I don't know. I don't know if I can fly flat and stable, but I will definitely be fine with the tracking.
Oh man, you would love it so much because you have jumped in Gudvangen before, right? And once you go to those in-hops in Gudvangen, get dropped like 15,000 feet, and then you can like track against the walls, and like it is so beautiful. You will really love it. So I think we have to talk to the Skydive Club and make it happen.
Let's try something.
Yeah. Okay, so David, how did you start this base jumping journey? Because base jumping is probably one of the most niche sports in the world.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to get in, and it's definitely not easy to get out as well, right?
I mean, I find it pretty easy to get in nowadays. I mean, there are courses everywhere. There are more base instructors than base jumpers. When I started, it was still like properly not easy. There were no big, courses. There were a few ones, but people would not talk much about it. and I myself had to start alone. Because I couldn't find a mentor, having a course was not an option. So after a while, you're like, okay, fuck it. I learned how to pack that parachute, and
By yourself?
yeah. So
Wow.
we were a bunch of friends, all in the same situation, like no mentor, nothing. So basically we taught each other, the guy with 2 jumps, so the most experienced guy making the PCA to the one that does his first one and trying to figure things out. It worked pretty well. I mean, of that crew, we are all alive still. I have
Yeah.
lots of jumps, but it's not the progression I recommend, because of course, if you have the information available, take it, don't be stupid. But
Yeah, right.
we didn't have it, and I don't regret doing it that way, because it was a different kind of adventure, and also it forced us to think by ourselves.
Yeah.
And of course not with the same efficiency as a base course. When I take guys, I take them on the 2 week trip. They do 35 jumps in 2 weeks, and they
Wow.
have all the information. It took me 6 months for the 10 first jumps, because everything was a mission.
Yeah, right.
But and it took me 2 years to grasp all the information that people get in 2 weeks. So of course it's not the fastest or most efficient way to learn, but for me it was an adventure, and I find it quite cool.
Yeah, man. It sounds like you're actually almost like pioneering base jumping.
No, man, far from pioneering.
No,
Far
but for yourself. For yourself.
for
You're like, yeah, I
myself.
don't know. I don't have anyone to teach me, so I'll just figure it out myself.
Yeah, that's what happened when you're a cheap fuck.
Yeah. But did you have any skydiving experience before you started base jumping?
93 skydives.
Ah, so pretty experienced, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Do what I say, don't do what I do.
Yeah. That Felix said the exact same thing. I was like, so when was your first base jump, Felix? He was like, I really shouldn't talk about that. And I was like, why not? Because I only had like 80 jumps and then I went to my first base jump. I was like, you're kidding. So that seems to be a trend with the old schoolers now.
I mean, there are a lot of jumpers in that situation. But if you talk to all of them, everybody think it shouldn't be done that way. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't take people under 200 jumps. I don't think Felix would recommend less. In the end, we ended up training more after.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, if skydivers are listening, definitely do the skydives.
Mm.
Of course, you will find a lot of examples of people who survived having a low skydive experience, but the difference between surviving and doing it well,
That's a big difference.
you have people that struggle for years with things that could be solved in a few skydives.
Yeah.
And man,
Mm.
I'm running out of battery. I need to connect that laptop.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll be
Go
back
for
in
it.
a minute.
All right, people. We're here with David Laffargue. I hope I didn't butcher his name too much. And getting to hear his cool story about base jumping. And
I'm almost
when
back.
he gets back, I'm gonna ask him about sprint
I'm all
and
good. So yeah,
marsupilami.
what I was saying is that it's not worth skipping the skydive experience, because you're gonna pay the price for it later. Often people think about the money. They're thinking, oh, skydiving is expensive. But starting base jumping without the skydive experience is going to be more expensive, because
Yeah,
for the things that you could have sorted in 10 skydives, you're going to need 60 base jump to figure it out. And 60 base
yeah,
jump, the travel, the time you take and stuff, if you just look at the financial aspect, it's not worth it. Do the
yeah,
skydive.
right. Mm. Yeah, that's interesting. But you're actually solving this problem for a lot of people now, since you have is it your own base jumping school?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell the listeners about that.
Sorry.
So please tell the listeners about your base jumping school.
So I started the base jumping school 3 years ago. I had a little bit of teaching experience before, either with other people that had courses or taking friends, etc. And I really, really, really enjoyed teaching people because you can see the results of your work. You know, you are sharing really the first steps of someone, and I really like to share the pleasure of the first jump. You know, when the people land from the first jump and we high five, I'm as happy and emotional as them. And let's do it. I really enjoy teaching, and also probably because I didn't have mentoring at the beginning, the information was really precious to me, and I really was really thankful to the people that gave me a little bit of information. So I like sharing it back with people. You know, I really like the education side of it.
Yeah. So take me through a course. How does a base jumping course work?
Okay, the first thing is you have to convince me to take you in the course. So I have a background check, try to find out who's the person, what's the motivation, etc. Because I want to try to avoid crazy people. I give a bit of homework to people, things to do in the skies, things to study. People arrive to my course, they already know how to pack, usually in 30-40 minutes, because we don't want to lose time with stuff like this. And we start with 5 days at the bridge, with a day of theory, safety briefing, etc. And then lots of practice at the bridge. It's where you learn really the basics, so it's the most intense part of the course. Like you're broken, not literally, by the end of the bridge session. Every jump we're gonna learn something new. If you integrate the information quickly, then I'm gonna give you something else. You know, I could stay a year teaching things to people at the bridge. There's so much to practice. When this is done, we go to Italy, where we do the first cliff jumps on a cliff named Monte Brento, which is the safest cliff I think we have in Europe, because it's really high and overhanging. So here we start with the terminal tracking, big wall safety, and so that's 5 days. And then we finish with Lauterbrunnen for 2 days, where we try to do as many jumps as we can and go on lower cliffs, for terminal tracking. I have a hard time speaking. What's happening? So that's pretty much it. So it's 14 days in total, and it's really, really intense. I'm really tired by the end of the courses, but it's quite.
I can imagine.
People, you come out. Of course, not being an expert jumper, because you learn base jumping through the years. I'm still learning. But you have the base to make your own progression safely. You know.
Yeah. So where do you start with the student?
Sorry.
Where do you start? Because you're going from somewhere to Italy and then to Switzerland.
Yeah. Sorry. So we're starting in Croatia.
So and all of this is in like 1-2 week period.
Yes.
Wow,
yes.
That's quite an experience, an adventure as well, because you travel to Croatia and then to Italy and then to Switzerland.
Yeah, man, it's 3 countries, 14 days, 35 jumps usually, so it's quite intense. It's quite intense.
It's pretty good getting 35 jumps in 2 weeks on a course.
Yeah. It's I think it's important at the beginning to do a lot. Of course, not too much. You know, you have also the 35 jumps are not mandatory. It's what I managed to get. You know, with people that are a bit on it. Some people will do 25. So far, I've never had anyone doing under 25. But the more you do, as long as you can keep the rhythm and be safe, the more you do, the more you learn, and the more you're trained for the future. but it's the rhythm is up to the students. I will never, of course, force anyone to go at a certain rhythm. It's if someone wants to do 10 jumps in the course, well, I guess.
Yeah, I have a friend who wants to start base jumping. I don't want to say it's he's sitting right here in the office, but I can't say his name loud on the podcast because he wants to keep it a secret until he learns how to actually base jump, and then he's gonna come out and be a really good base jumper. But so where can people sign up for this course?
Okay, so my website is o2basejump.com. So O, the number 2, and basejump.com.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How much is the course?
The course is 2,400 euros for the 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much what everyone does at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't have the prices of everyone in my mind, but it's pretty much similar for every school. We kind of every school now has the more or less the same program, go to the same places. Then of course every instructor has his different way of teaching and not exactly the same methods, but it's details. I think we more or less all agree on that. Progression for the bridge, Brento, and this number of jumps. Starts to.
But how many base jump schools is there? It sounds like a rare thing.
Base courses, no, there are a lot. There are a lot at the moment. You have some really big ones. You have some more underground ones, but you see quite a lot of people now teaching. I think every country has his guy or his 2 guys that have a base school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's one thing I've seen videos from which scares the shit out of me, and that is tandem base jumping.
Yeah.
That started to become a thing. Is that a real thing, or is that like something people do like every now and then?
It's more every now and then, like it's really episodic. I haven't seen many tandem base jumps myself. I know Andy Lewis is pretty keen in Moab at the moment. He seems to be, I think he's the one who's doing the most because I see on Instagram, like he keeps posting videos with different people.
Yeah.
The other people that are doing tandem base, I don't see them doing it that often. I see some people that are preparing now for it. I know at least 3 people that it's not official yet, but they're gonna come out soon saying they're doing it. So it seems to become a thing. I don't have a really particular interest for it. I don't find it that interesting, but that's just a personal opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I have friends that ask me if it was worth it. I would prefer to take them on a paragliding flight, for example, with a canopy a wing that is gonna be more performant and they are, maybe more fun to fly, or I don't know, do a bungee jump or a tandem skydive. I don't know if tandem base jumping is an experience of a static line, and then it's like a paragliding flight but with a shitty canopy. It's I'm not a big fan of it personally.
Yeah, it seems to me that I feel it's quite dangerous having like unexperienced people attached to you with only one parachute.
No, I don't think it's dangerous. Fuck. I say that and then something happens. I don't know. No, I don't think. It's a quite safe form of base jumping. It's a static line. Now, of course, it's probably more dangerous than doing a tandem skydive. I don't know it doesn't seem completely crazy to me. If my dad wanted to do a tandem base, I would say, yeah, okay, why not? But again, I'm not. It's just. I don't really find the interest for it. I think the interest of base jumping is throwing yourself and flying your body and getting those sensations. And so I'm not a fan of it. But again, the other interest of base jumping is freedom. So if people want to do tandem base and share that experience with people, and if people want to no base jumping through tandem base, then fuck yeah, do it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't like it personally, but I don't like people who tell you what to do or not, and I like that freedom. So I don't want to take part of it, and I'm observing it. It's always funny sometimes to be in Brento and to see a random guy, you know, attached to a harness.
Yeah, that's fun. But one of the things I'm trying to do with this podcast is to like get to know the people behind the crazy stunts, and it's really interesting to me to like try to figure out like what kind of people signs up for a base course. Is it like a lot of experienced skydiver, or is it people who have seen like wingsuiting and base jumping on YouTube? And what's like the commonalities of people who sign up for your courses?
You have all kind of people. Usually, normally, a serious course will, you know, take some people that have a bit of experience skydiving, of course. Okay, there are some exceptions, but I personally don't do exceptions with number of jumps, and any serious course out there will not make any exception under 200 jumps, you know. Sometimes 300 for certain courses. So we have like experienced skydiver can be 200 or 1,000 jump, you know. We have like all kind of people. And there is not a profile type of a person. There's a bit of everything, you know. You have some crazy woohoo guys. You have some engineers. You have all type of people. All type of people. Yeah. It's actually really fun in base jumping because nobody talks about his job. Normally in let's call it normal life, you know, say, hey, what's your profession? You know, in base, no one thinks about, because we have other things to talk about during hikes and jumps and stuff. And sometimes, you know, somebody since like 3-4 months, and you're like, hey, by the way, what do you do for work? And you realize that you have all kind of people. You know, I remember sitting at the Holmer pub in Lauterbrunnen, and there was a table, and there was a guy that I know got out of many years in prison. And the next table, I have friends from the special forces in France, and they're all visitors, and people interact with each other, and you know, it doesn't matter, man. It's
yeah, that'd be really fun if the guy who just got out of prison was arrested by the guys from the special forces.
I mean,
top notch.
Yeah, that would kill the vibe a little bit at the pub, but good story.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I like that mix of people. You know, I have a student that is 45 years old, works for a big hedge fund, and I remember we go to a restaurant once with a bunch of other friends. And he was sitting with a friend of mine, also a base jumper, that is completely a different style, 30 years old, blue hair, definitely on some kind of products, a professional poker player. And these two guys were sitting face to face, and they didn't have, you know, much to share apart from base jumping. And I was looking at them thinking they're so different. And then I decided to introduce them to each other. I was saying, hey, by the way, you know, and he is professional poker player. And suddenly the guy that works for the hedge fund and doing numbers all day is like, oh, so you know numbers. And they start talking probability, statistics, chances to win. The poker player is explaining his crazy life of poker player, of the bets and how he manages his money and the competition he does. And suddenly they had so much to talk about. And I thought, outside of base jumping, those guys would have never met because their life is so different, and it's so cool to see them interact, you know?
Yeah, right. That's one of the cool things about extreme sport, because people are really like in their zones. If you're at the drop zone or if you're at the river, people are talking about like what you're supposed to do right now and how you're supposed to do that jump and this and that. But once like the bonfire starts and the beer cracks opens and you start talking to people, it's like, what, you're a musician, or you're whatever profession you want to put in, right? There's like kindergarten teachers and stay-at-home moms and like lawyers and you name it. There's all kinds of people, and that's one of the things I love most about extreme sport is like it brings people together no matter who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
And
the
do
thing.
you
The thing of
no
everyday life is that you are stuck to a circle. You are stuck to the circle of your people at work. And even though you like to think that, oh, you're open to see everyone, it influences everything you do. Because if you are from a certain field, you're going to go to certain bars where you meet the same kind of people. You go to the same restaurant, you dress a bit the same way. And in the end, you are stuck in your bubble where you cannot, I mean, you can, but you don't meet other people. And being in a universe where that gathers so many different people together at the same place without dress code or separation of anything, it's a great social mix, and everyone is taking a lot from it. I think it's really beneficial to everyone.
Yeah. So how many base jumps have you done now?
1,400 now.
1,400.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beginning to be a good number.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I hope I will have many more. I'm touching wood right now.
Knock on wood. So do you have any you remember your first base jump?
Yeah, I do. It was a bit special. So it was at that time. I don't know if I wrote that story on the internet already. So let's go for it.
The MacGyver times.
Yeah. So my friends had parachutes. I didn't. So they already did their first base jumps in the previous month. They have like 1, 2, 5, 10 jumps. And I had 0, and they kept teasing me like, "Oh, we are base jumpers, and you're not," So at some point I went to Grand Crew on an antenna. They were jumping, and one of them did a bad landing and broke his leg. And in my defense, the leg didn't look that broken. It was a fracture, but it was not displaced. So I dragged him to the car, picked up his parachute, and he asked me to bring him to the hospital. I said, "Yep, but first, you're going to help me pack your rig, and I'm going to do my first base jump." And that's so I went. So I went to an antenna, and some guys there at the antenna that I didn't know before gave me a PCA, and that's how I became a base jumper.
And your friend, is he still jumping?
Out of this group, no, he's the only one that he's not jumping anymore. He had another accident the following year, and he could totally quit. Yeah. I mean, he fully recovered from the injury, but it was not worth it for him anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is your plan for this year then? Do you have a lot of courses stacked up?
I have some courses happening. Fingers crossed. I hope COVID doesn't cancel them. I have planned already 6 weeks of Norway in between the courses. So mid-July to end of August, I'm going to be there jumping, wingsuiting, having fun, fishing a lot, hopefully.
And are you going to drive your car?
Sorry?
Are you going to take your car?
Yeah, I go up with the van. It's a great place Norway is amazing for camping and everything. So I go with my little house and I enjoy there. And I don't know, the rest of the time I improvise. Norway, I wanted to make sure I do 6 weeks, but the rest of the time in between the courses, I just look where the weather is good and I just go there with the van and have fun.
Nice. And how many times have you been to Ekstremsportveko?
Twice. 2 times.
Yeah. I saw a video where you got stuck on a mountain because of wind.
Possibly, yeah. Oh, yeah, when I think I know what you're talking about. With base jumpers reproducing at the exit, no?
Yeah.
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 I remember sending of the day.
Yeah. But do you do anything else besides base jumping?
Well, base jumping is my main activity and the only thing I dedicate that much time. But yeah, I do wakeboarding, scuba diving, A bit of everything, you know. I like to snowboard. Now it's snowboarding time in winter. I enjoy a lot playing chess at home on my phone. I do a lot of video editing, stuff like this. I have plenty of activities. I like to do a bit of everything, but I don't have anything as intense and where I dedicate so much time as base jumping.
Yeah. Do you feel any of the other sports help you with base jumping?
Not really the sport I do. It's really, base jumping is really a thing about. I don't do over air sports, so I don't have like any inputs from that. But
No. The reason I'm asking is because I had a friend who was an Olympic swimmer, and he used to train ballet and gymnastics to become better at swimming.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking if some of the other sports were helping you become a better base jumper.
Man, if people of skydiving helps, paragliding as well.
Canopy control.
Speed flying, you know, everything like canopy control maybe with paragliding, but also knowledge of the environment, the air, the aerology. You can see speed flyers, you know, once they go into wingsuit proximity, they already know the lines because they speed flown them. So you have like a lot of things that could be a good complement to base jumping. And base jumping is not only the flying, it's also the access. So climbers, highliners, they feel so comfortable on the rope, on the rock. You have rope jumpers as well that are good. So you can do many things that are good complement to base. In general, people that do lots of gymnastics and stuff like this, they have awareness of their body, so they pick up really quickly, you know.
Yeah. When we're talking about gymnastics, did you ever see the video of the Norwegian base jumper who set up this bar on top of the cliff? What's his name on it? Is it Henriksen? On the base jumper who did the gymnastics? What's his name? Grenseløse Henriksen. Yeah. That's a crazy fucking stunt.
Man, I can't believe he's alive, you know, like when you see his fall, you're like, no freaking way. And he actually had this accident on the best place ever because there was a big rock drop. But even though, you know, you're like, it's a great video. It's one of the best jumping exits I've seen in my life. Like, thank you.
Yeah. So have you had any accidents or crazy experiences while jumping? Well,
the only injury I have from base jumping is by putting my foot in a hole on an easy landing and falling forward. So it's not really epic. I broke my ankle like this. And I had, of course, like a few scary moments where like, oh, this is not good. And always it's I don't have scary moments that aren't my fault, you know. It was always for being stupid. And you know, the universe reminds you that you have to turn your brain on. I had a close call years ago when I was 6 years ago already. I was like into aerials, doing flips and shit, and of course, you know, once in a while they get out of control and not necessarily on the friendliest cliffs. And I had a big one 2 years ago in Brazil where I got really, really scared because I really thought I was going to die. And this one has really, it calmed me down for a month, you know. I just, but again, my fault, I jumped in a storm.
Yeah. But what do you have any like precautions or like rules for yourself on how to keep safe?
So many of them, man. So many of them. Depending, of course, on the. I mean, you know, every rule is different to the objects you do, but I always try to not try one new thing at the same. Sorry, I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah.
I always try to not do two new things at the same time. For example, you know, every step forward is like you progress really slowly, little by little. I try to every beginning of season, to take a step back and restart from the beginning, because sometimes you think, oh, it's the beginning of the season, and you remember the things you were doing just a few months ago, but you're not current anymore, and you don't have the same ability, and that's when shit happens. I always try to check on myself if I'm not getting too carried away or too confident. If I start not being scared somewhere, I change place. I should always be scared, With those years, I'm quite lucky that I am always been and will always be proud of being a pussy. I have no problem with admitting that I'm scared, and I'm not here to break world records, because it's too hard and tiring and it's scary, and I don't even know if I have the ability to do it. So I try to keep it on the safe side and listen to your guts. If you don't feel like doing something, just don't do it. Walk down. No one cares what you're doing anyway. The cool badass base jumpers, they're all dead.
Yeah.
It's like
true.
when people try to play crazy because they want to look special. It's like, man, you're not crazy. We had Alexander Cody,
Yeah.
We
That's true.
like this. You're not gonna. And before them, they were like Dwayne Weston, and not my generation, but don't try to be more crazy than these people. They were already. They're already badass enough. Just be a cool guy, Be Felix.
Yeah.
Felix
Be
is
Felix.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. We should put that on a T-shirt. Be like Felix.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And Felix likes to be like Justin Bieber, so be like Justin Bieber. That's it.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah. So, do you have any because usually people don't think that what they're doing is that extreme, but do you have any thoughts on things that you consider extreme? That can be like other activities or sports, or what scares you, to put it that way?
I don't know what scares me. I'm gonna tell you like the sport that turns me on the most at Veko at the video of the day. Okay, it's kayaking, man. That's my favorite part of the video of the day. Is like those guys in the white water and the crazy stuff. It's my favorite part every year when I go to the festival. I think it's really badass, really, really badass. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, man. I was just for Ekstremsportveko, I'm making I don't know if you've seen it, but I'm making a small mini series called Heimejo in Norwegian, which means like Veko cribs, where I visit people that can be like I visited the greenhouse, Andreas Mosling from Zion Free Fly, and Eirik Flyversen, the Norwegian base jumper. I visited them, went home to their place, just like to go. It's like if I visit you in your car.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, this is where David lives, and this is what he has in his house, and whatever, right? So yesterday I was hanging around with a Norwegian kayaker called Julian.
Yeah.
And that was a special experience, because they've been living in a trailer for I don't know how many years. They lived in a trailer for several years, and now they moved into this nice apartment, like white walls, all clean, but they're like they didn't keep any things or like decorations. They're like really clean, empty apartment, and like yeah, it's so nice having a washing machine and a toilet and everything. But they're like, yeah, we really want to move back in the trailer.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I spent some time with kayakers this year, and they're such nice people.
Yeah.
But I've always been saying that, but it's probably because I'm a skydiver myself. I don't recognize like skydiving to be crazy, right? But I think like kayaking and longboarding and mountain biking, those are the three worst sports.
Yeah.
And I say it all the time because those three sports freak me the hell out.
Yeah.
I mean, asphalt is really, really hard, and trees are also really, really hard. And being underwater too long is really scary.
Yeah. It's like those like here in Verbier, I know some guys that do freeride skiing or snowboarding, and they jump 5 to 8 meters cliffs and do crazy backflips, and and they're so good, you know, and they do the craziest jumps and ride the craziest steep lines and stuff that I would never do because no, fuck no, it's not worth the risk. And I like it when we're at the bar and these guys, they're like, oh, you know, this is my friend David, he's crazy and badass, he's a base jumper. I like, yeah, say it, it's good for my ego, but I know they're the crazy ones, you know. I'm like, I'm just jumping in the air and it's soft and I don't break myself, you know. No, they are way more. Base jumping is impressive to watch, but I think they are way crazy sport, man. All those sports, man. The sports you named, and even you take skateboard and I don't know, BMX and everything. Before succeeding to do something, you need to fall over and over and over again. A guy that, you know, lands something, fell 20 times before. I could never do a sport where I hurt myself 20 times before succeeding. It's
just to like jump down 10 set of stairs.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but I like still that people say base jumping is badass. You know, it's make us look cool.
It's nice to do something badass.
Sorry?
It's nice to do something where you feel like a badass.
Yeah. But we know the truth.
Do you have any dream places to jump?
I think
if you could choose anywhere in the world, any building, any mountain, anything, what would it be?
It's a too hard question. Okay, there are things on my wish list that I would like to do. Salto del Ángel in Venezuela, it's a mythical one, like this big freaking giant waterfall that is so big that you could free fly from it, even though I don't know how to free fly. So that's definitely on the wish list, but at the moment the situation in Venezuela doesn't really allow this type of camping trip. Of course, if I had the authorization to jump from the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, I would love to do it. But the hole in Mexico that I will never jump in my life because it's forbidden, Golondrinas, or Cave of Swallow, they call it in English. So there are many like mythical places to jump. There is nothing that obsesses me, you know, really. I think maybe a few years ago I would be obsessed in doing certain things because I thought, it would be crazy. You have a kind of a to-do list and you want to have done that. And the more I base jump, the more I realize that my base jumping dreams are really random. I don't have dreams of doing crazy stuff. I just want to do simple jump with friends and fly in groups and look at nice views. You know, I'm with my roommate and partner Vince that is here. We want to go back. We're super excited to Norway because we're thinking of the jumps that we've already done and that we're gonna be able to fly with the wingsuits together. And I don't have dreams of jumps. I have dreams of moments. That's it.
That's a beautiful thing. I don't have dreams of jumps, but I have dreams of moments.
I just made it up.
Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, but you told me that you just started wingsuit base jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that when you base jumping with? Were you base jumping with a tracksuit before?
Yeah, I used to track all the time. It's my big thing. I started wingsuiting after 1,000 tracking jumps. So I think I explored tracking enough to start wingsuiting. And I didn't have dreams of wingsuiting either. I did it because I was bored and because I had nothing to do last year.
Yeah. How was the transition? Is it very different?
Honestly, after all the experience I had with a big one-piece tracking suit, the transition was super smooth. Super easy, surprisingly. I didn't have any interest for wingsuiting, honestly. Unlike everybody that talks about the dream and shit, I'm like, didn't care. I started a bit playing with the idea 2 years ago when I realized that my one-piece tracking suit was taking me to wingsuit jumps. So at some point you have always that either you're going to do a really committed jump in the tracking suit and be like, it's tricky, or you're going to stop yourself from doing a jump, but you're like, I'm just missing a little bit of performance to do it. And I thought, with the wingsuit, it would be quite cool to, to do those jumps, or at least to do the jumps I already do, but with less stress. I didn't start the wingsuit at the beginning because I thought, I'm going to need to go back to skydiving, do the whole wingsuit progression, have a small suit, then an intermediate. And the thing is, like, nowadays, the intermediate wingsuit, they fly less than my onesie. And I thought, that is so much work and money, and for months where I'm not going to be able to fly as well as with my onesie. So of course, if you have a trip planned to Norway, you don't want to waste your yearly trip by trying to learn something in a shitty suit. Last year, COVID, the ability to travel was really reduced. So suddenly I had that time. So for me, it was a great year because it gave me the opportunity to give the time to things I would not have done otherwise. So I went back to skydiving. I took a small suit, and then quite quickly I moved to an intermediate one. And the transition was way easier than what I thought, and allowed me to move quickly in a couple of months to a suit that is fun to fly, And now I'm excited because I'm discovering new lines higher on jumps I already knew, and some jumps that were inaccessible, now I do them without any problem. So it's super exciting. Again, I did it as an experience and this experiment, and I didn't think I would love it so much. So it's a good surprise.
Yeah, that's a good surprise. Probably gives you more like fire to keep going.
Yeah. Now I'm excited. I'm excited about rediscovering some places with the wingsuit. I'm going to new ones, so it's really, really cool.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I've still my focus is to get really fucking good at free flying. Okay. But one day I'm gonna get a wingsuit and fly. I don't think I'm gonna sign up for a base course, but I'm gonna get a wingsuit eventually.
Yeah.
And it's so luxurious here in Norway because we have the tunnel just right next to the drop zone.
Yeah.
And also we have the wingsuit tunnel in Sweden. So if you go there for a weekend, you can get like probably a couple of years of experience in one weekend.
Yeah.
You can't compare it that way, but still you can get some skills with the suit that would otherwise take you a long time. For sure.
I'm actually questioning it at the moment and wondering if I'm not gonna do a little bit of tunnel. Because there are a few things that I would like to learn, be actually a bit more precise, in my approach with people. And I'm thinking, in a week I could, give it tries and understand things and get an instant debrief. So yeah, I think it could be a nice tool to play with.
Yeah. Have you flown anything with Aspen and Amber?
Have I flown with Aspen? I definitely shared beers with them many times, but I don't know if we've actually jumped together. We've been on exit points together, but we never flew. Aspen Amber, like if we listen to this podcast, I now have a wingsuit. We're flying together this summer.
Oh man, I've been making some films with them for the last year, and spending some time with them. And they actually moved to have you seen the Luan place in Norway?
Yes.
Where they have the sky lift and the exit point just right below it.
Yeah. And I'm going to reveal something, a little trick for the guys that live in a van that Felix and I discovered in Loen.
Okay.
The bathroom of the lift station up there has a shower.
Ooh.
So with Felix, we used to do the last jump of the day. We didn't have showers in our van. We used to have dinner at the restaurant. While we order the food, we take a shower and then we jump down to the vans.
That's perfect.
It's a tip for the next one going.
Yeah. No, I think Aspen and Amber has gotten really good at flying, especially now that where they live right next to the edge. They can just get up in the morning, get a coffee, take the skylift up. I don't know how many jumps you can do in a day. Probably a lot. I know Amber is complaining Aspen is jumping like all day when they're when the lift is going up and down. But
it's good because you can make
cool,
like
man.
rotations on this one, and it's a big jump of something like 1,000 meters, I think, and it's really really cool. And they didn't get good at flying, man. They already were like since a really long time.
Yeah.
I really like the two of them. They're a nice couple, and they have really good vibe as well. So it's cool.
Nice
They've been snubbing me in the jumps because I don't have a wingsuit, but now they have no excuse. So I just want to fly Espen Amber. Next summer I'm doing a straight line, and you're just under me doing some crazy shit. I want to show.
Oh man, it's so. I come from a background of breakdancing, right? I've been breakdancing for so many years, and like doing barrel rolls and flips and stuff is really natural to me.
Okay.
But when you see someone do a 360 exit with a wingsuit on, that is so crazy, man. We're filming some stuff, and Espen's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna look at you while you're filming, and then do a 360, and then keep flying." I'm like, "Okay." And then he does it. It's like it is the coolest thing.
Yeah.
The only thing I've seen that I think is crazier is I can't remember his name, but I reposted it on the Flying Fox Instagram page. But there was this guy doing a 360 gainer with a wingsuit.
Vincent Cotte.
Yes, that's the guy.
Yeah.
That is the most insane stunt I've ever seen. That's not even a stunt. That's just an exit. But fuck, man, that's crazy.
Man, Vush is a Frenchie. He's a world champion free flyer. He's a gymnast. He's an amazing wingsuiter. He's amazing at aerials. He's a badass tracker. He tracked Brevant. At the time it was open with a cruise, which was not the easiest one piece to fly, and it's definitely not as performant as what we have. He's great at everything. These kind of people, they're really, really annoying. Yeah, man. Now you have some definitely crazy thing, but I like the best position to be in is not to be good, it's to be with the good people. If you think about Espen and Amber doing their flips and shit, all they see is ground sky. It's you get seasick. But if you are the guy flying with them and just looking at the show, this is the nicest position to be in. So I'm that guy with less skills, big wide open eyes, and a big smile.
Yeah. Do you have any big moments from a career that you always remember the first jump, right? But do you have any some moments that really stand out that you remember in an instant?
Plenty. In tracking, a year and a half ago, we tracked a big jump in France, the Dans le Crawl, which is really probably my most challenging flight. And I managed to track it on my very first try. And I was so stoked, screaming. I was buzzing for 2 days after this one. And I love it. It's a video I love. It's just a stupid POV of a tracking jump, but I'm like, whoa, reliving it. Yeah, I don't know. Good moments, big buildings with jump. I don't know, so many magical moments in base. It's hard to do a hierarchy of all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for young up and coming people who want to start base jumping?
Yes. Train and take things really slow.
Yeah.
Really take things slow because the mistake people do is rushing all the time. Everyone is rushing the people approach base jumping like if they were 98 and they were about to die. They rush like if they have no time, and they play with their lives like if it was almost over. You have so many years in front of you, man. You just go slow. Do the little step-by-step thing, do a lot of two-piece tracking jump, do it for 2 or 3 years, and then move to a one-piece and do your thing, and then move to a wingsuit. It's I don't know why people are rushing so much, and because they rush, they have accidents, or they fuck up, or they scare themselves. And when they don't, they end up after 4 years and they already have done all the hardcore stuff and there's nothing left to have fun with, Just take your time, man. It's cool. People have goals. This is the problem. Dreams, goals, objectives, it's useless. If you have goals, you're gonna be focused on your goals and you're gonna miss out. You're not gonna enjoy the time you go to reach that goal, and because it's a hard sport, you need years, so you're not enjoying your years until you reach a point. You have to focus on the process. If you just enjoy the process of doing something, you enjoy every single jump and you're happy. You have to stop that goal-driven bullshit, and this is how we are educated, man. At school, your goal is to pass the next class and then to be good so you can do that university, and then you want that dream job, and then you need that position in your company, and all the time, like, people are not, enjoying the present moment. At least fucking base jumping, at least don't have goals. Just do your thing, wake up, see if the weather is good, and do what you're capable to do, and then the progression will happen naturally. It's the whole sport is contaminated by this goal-driven bullshit, because when we make a movie about a base jumper, it's always the same thing. His goal is to do that big crazy jump and he's gonna train from it, and they show the training like it's completely unimportant, and then they show the one jump at the end like, wow, it's the most mind-blowing thing ever. In the end, it's just one jump. It's the whole training and the adventures of the countries you've been to and the people you've met on the way that are important. Really short question with a long answer, but I feel strongly about it, Fuck
yeah, I can tell. Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, but it's true, and it is so true, because in this day and age, it's so easy to get lost into things that, you have to have this and that, and if I just get to here, then I can get to here, and then you forget the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. I just I have 2 kids, 2 little girls, and for me, it's also, I recognize myself in this goal thing, because I'm a very I need to do this and this, because that's gonna take me to wherever, right? And then sometimes I'm like, fuck, I'm losing all this time that I could have spent with hanging out with them, or doing this and that, and if I just wait until they're a little bit older, it's going to get a little bit easier, and it's easy to get lost in the future.
Yeah, and
right.
I don't know why people are so convinced that they have no time, because you have the whole fucking life in front of you. When I look back at 9 years of base jumping, I've done so much. I have so many adventures. We could talk for days. There's a really rich quantity of things that happen, and if I think about the next 9 years, if they're the same, I'm overwhelmed by the quantity of adventures I will have, and I will just be 40.
Yeah. And then you're gonna live 40, a whole nother life
because of that.
Yeah, because if you're 30 years old, you're still gonna live 2 more lives.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy when you think about it that way. I remember a guy when I started base jumping. He rushed into wingsuiting, and he was saying, you were like, oh, why are you rushing into that? Take it step by step. And he's like, oh, but I'm 55. I don't have that much time. And he died after 1 year of base jumping with 100 jumps. Yeah.
If he had, when you're dead, you don't have any more time. If he had, taken his time, waited 2 more seasons, he would have been a wingsuiter at 57, and he will still have many more years of wingsuiting in front of him. He will, and hundreds of jumps on new experiences, and adventures and stuff. So rushing, man, is not. You have plenty of time.
Good. Yeah, that's true. All right, I have one final question. I've seen you a bunch of times with sprint. That's at least what I call them. Sprint, the marsupial behind you.
Marsupilami, we call it in French.
Yeah. What is your special love for those little guys?
I mean, look at him. He's cool as fuck. Look at this thing, you know. I don't know. It's just my childhood friend, you know. I really like the Marsupilami. He's like a happy guy that lives in the forest, jumps everywhere. He's always smiling. I mean, yeah, we have a pretty similar lifestyle. I really like him a lot, and he's super cute. Girls love him. You know, he's quiet and cuddly. I love him. I take him everywhere.
Cool. All right, David. I'm really looking forward to meeting you and getting a beer at Ekstremsportveko 2021.
For sure.
And for the people at home, when you see David or Felix, go give them a hug, high five, and they'll tell you some cool stories.
Man, it would be a pleasure to be back there and to meet you and share some expensive Norwegian beers and just have fun because it's a really cool event. Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah. All right, David. Where can people find you? You said o2basejumping.com or O2basejump.
Otherwise, follow me on Instagram for the adventures.
Smooth. All right, people. Thank you for watching. Thank you, David.
Cheers, man. Bye.